Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm James, and today I'm going to be breaking in this brand new OS Max 15LA Glow RC plane engine. In an earlier video, I did an open box review of this engine, and what I'll do is I'll put the link to that, or I'll post it at the end of this video so you can check that out if you're interested. So over here I have my homemade engine test stand. Over here I have my fuel for the plane. This is just Glow RC plane fuel. More about this in a few minutes. I have a brand new Master Airscrew 8.4 prop. More about that in a few minutes. And of course here is the engine. So let's go ahead and pull it out and take a look at it. Now again, this is a 15LA, and the 15 stands for a 0.15 cubic inch displacement engine. And again, it is a glow engine, meaning that it has a glow plug like this and not a spark plug. So here is the engine. Let me go ahead and get this stuff out of the way. And then of course I have my instructions here, and I am an instruction guy. I like reading the instructions. I like following the instructions as the first step in anything that I do. Okay, so here of course is the muffler. We'll put that on, and here is the engine. So I'll point out a few things I wanted to mention before we get this mounted on the test stand. Is that this is a smaller engine, obviously, and unlike a lot of the bigger or more complex glow engines out there, this just has a single needle valve. It doesn't have a high-speed needle valve adjustment or a low-speed needle. It just has one single needle valve here. And then for the low speed, or for the sort of idle adjustment, kind of fine-tuning part of it, it has an air bleed feature, which is this screw right here. And this little hole right there is the air bleed hole. So for comparison, I have this OS Max AX2 46 glow engine, and as you can see here, it has both the high speed and the low speed needle adjustments. So the way this works, and they both do the same thing, they both are adjusting the amount of fuel going into the carburetor. So basically what you do is you turn them in clockwise, and by turning them in you decrease the amount of fuel going into the carburetor, which is going to make it a leaner mixture. As you turn them out, you allow more fuel to go into the carburetor, and you make the mixture richer. And by doing those two things, you can make fine adjustments for the engine to run properly. Now let's go back to our little OS Max 15LA. So again, it has this single needle valve adjustment here, and it works the same way as this high speed and even the low speed needle, meaning that as you turn it in, you decrease the amount of fuel going into the carburetor, making it a leaner mixture. As you open it up, you increase the amount of fuel going into the carburetor, which is going to make it a richer mixture. Now, if we look at the air bleed, it does ultimately, in the end, it's doing the same thing. It's adjusting the mixture, but it just does it by adjusting the air going into the carburetor, not the fuel. So if we look at the screw here and we see this little hole, which is right there, that's the hole where the air is going in. As you close the hole off, the amount of air going into the mixture is going to decrease. Okay, so I have to think about what I say here. So as the air decreases, it's going to make the mixture richer, right? As you open this up, the air is going to increase, which is going to make the mixture leaner. So as you can see, it ultimately does the same thing by fine-tuning the mixture in the carburetor. It's just that it's doing it in an opposite way. So that being said, we have to realize that the air bleed system, or the air bleed setup here, is certainly not as sophisticated as this low-speed needle adjustment system over here. There's much more engineering that goes into this, and therefore, you know, your low-speed needle adjustments and such are going to be a lot more reliable, and you're going to be able to tune it better than something like this. This is kind of crude. You know, it does work to a certain extent, but certainly not like a low-speed needle adjustment like this. And that's why, one of the reasons why an engine like this is going to be less expensive, is because there's a lot less engineering going on in this carburetor than there is with this thing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and set this one aside, and we'll get back to our OS 15LA. All right, so like all things RC, I had to fiddle with this to get it all set up the way I need it to, but I got it going here. Now here's the fuel tank setup. So I have two lines coming off our fuel tank, obviously. This is my vent line, and this is the line that's going to go to the carburetor. I don't know if I have enough hose on here or line on here to reach. I think I can do it with this one. This guy will go right on here, like that. It's kind of an interesting setup because this fitting comes straight up. Usually they come off the back or kind of point backwards and such, but it comes in from the top like that. And then this is the vent line here. And the vent line, or the pressure line, depending on how you want to look at it, as the muffler, as our engine's running, the pressure coming off the muffler pressurizes the tank, which helps push the fuel to the carburetor, or to the engine, I should say. So that's kind of just a basic setup there. So for the glow plug, I'm using a number 6, which is recommended, in the instructions. And the number 6 is a replacement for the older glow plugs, which were A3s. And these are just made for the smaller engines like this. So if you have an A3, like an OS A3 or number 6, those two glow plugs are basically the same, and you can use either one. Since it looks like my lines are going to sort of get in the way with the outlet on the muffler here, or the silencer, I want to adjust this. So one thing's nice about these mufflers is you can just rotate the little nozzle here. There's a little nut right here on this side, as you can see. And then of course there's a screw here which goes all the way through the silencer. I always call it a muffler, but they call it a silencer. I don't have a little teeny wrench, so I'm just going to carefully just grab this little nut on here, and hopefully I can just undo it that way. Flip this around. That. Just loosen it carefully. And that's just sort of like a lock nut, and then we'll loosen the screw up here in the front here. And of course we can now rotate this in any direction we like. I'm just going to rotate it kind of down and out of the way like that. And then we'll tighten it back up here. And then I'll tighten up this little nut here carefully, just like that. Now let's go ahead and put our prop on. Again, this is a Master Airscrew 8.4. And if you look at the instructions, so these instructions are both for the 15 and the 25 LA. And you can see here running in, it's an 8.4, which I have. And then of course here's a couple different props for, a trainer or sport plane. A 7 5-6 or an 8 4-5. Again, I'm using the 8.4 Master Airscrew. And we'll just put this on the prop shaft. And then I'll gently tighten this. Don't want to overdo it. Again, it's a small engine, so you don't need to torque down on this too much. Well, there it is. The engine is now set up on the test stand and is ready to go. Let's take a quick look at our glow fuel. So again, this is glow fuel. This is VP Racing Fuels. There are other brands out there like Morgan, and of course aviation fuel for RC planes and helis. And the three main components to a glow fuel are listed right here. And they are your nitromethane, your anhydrous methanol, just methanol, and then a lubricant. And it's the nitromethane that you typically see coming in different concentrations or different percentages. So typically the mixture that I like to use is a 15% like this. I use it on all my engines. And so this one has a 15% nitromethane and an 18% oil, and the rest is the methanol. So the break-in procedure for this engine is actually pretty simple. So the way we're going to do it, per the instructions, is we're going to open the throttle fully, like this, right here. And then we're going to have a pretty rich setting on the needle valve. And it's going to be open 3 full turns. So we find the closed position to start with. And then we're going to open it up, like I said, 3 full turns. And I'm going to use this little screw here to count the turns. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. So that's the settings that we're going to start with. And then also I should mention is that the air bleed hole It may be really hard to see that, and you probably can't see that, but the air bleed hole is supposed to be set halfway open. So when you turn this screw in, it's going to close off the hole. When you take it out, it's going to open the hole. You have to look in there closely with a magnifying glass, or if you have good eyesight, you can look inside there and make sure that that screw, the tip of the screw, is only covering half the hole. And that's what it is now, and that's how it's set from the factory. So those are the initial settings to start the engine. So once the engine's running, we can set it for the break-in. So we're going to start by listening to the pitch of the engine. So the pitch of the engine is directly related to the RPMs. So the higher the RPMs, the higher the pitch. The lower the RPMs, the lower the pitch. So we're going to listen to the pitch in order to find the optimum setting for the break-in. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to slowly close the needle valve. As we close the needle valve, we're going to decrease the amount of fuel going into the mixture, and we're going to be leaning it out. As we do that, two things are going to happen. The RPMs are going to increase, and the pitch is going to increase. So now we're going to continue to make adjustments on the needle valve to find the correct setting for the break-in. We're going to continue to turn it in. At some point, it's going to stabilize. We're going to continue to turn it in, and then the pitch is no longer going to be increased, and it will sort of reach a period where almost like a plateau where it doesn't change. And then as we continue to turn the needle valve in, it's going to start dropping off. Once the pitch starts to drop off, then we know we went too far and the mixture became way too lean. So then we open it back up again, and we kind of find that sort of plateau, or where that pitch is going to increase again. It's going to sort of plateau out, and then we know we're sort of at the highest RPM that the engine can run with the particular fuel mixture that we have running in the engine. And at that point we say, okay, now we're going to go ahead and make it very rich by opening it up a full half a turn. Open it up a full half a turn, the RPMs are going to drop back down again, and the pitch is going to drop back down again, and that's going to be the setting for the break-in period, and at least for the tank that we're running. So we're going to let the tank run out, and we're going to run one full tank through it like we mentioned, and that'll be the end of the initial break-in. All right, well, that was kind of a wordy explanation. I hope it made sense, but now it's enough talking. Let's get outside and start this thing up and break it in. So I'm having difficulty doing a hand start, so I'm going to gently use my electric starter. Need to be careful with that, but I think this is what I need to get this thing going. All right, so there we have it. We have the initial break-in complete. A couple of things I wanted to note here. First of all, I was having trouble trying to hand start it. And I think what was happening is actually getting the engine was getting flooded because fuel kept spitting out of the carburetor. So I tried that for a while and it wasn't very successful. So then I just went ahead and I used the electric starter, and that worked out pretty well. So then I set everything to the proper settings where it was 3 open on the needle valve, 3 full turns, and full throttle, and half of the air bleed. And then what I did is I slowly turned the needle. As you saw, we heard those RPMs and the pitch increasing. It increased as I was turning it in. At some point it sort of leveled out. I tried to indicate that, it tried to level out. And then as I continued to lean it out, you heard that the pitch then dropped off. And then I opened it back up again, and you heard it come back up again and sort of stabilized. And then I opened it up another half turn, and that was the setting for the break-in. And another thing I wanted to note is that this is a big tank over here for this engine. I think this is a 10-ounce tank on my test stand. And typically for an engine like this, in fact, in the model that I'm building right now, the Aeromite, I'm only going to be using like a 2-ounce tank. And usually probably like a 3 or 4-ounce tank is probably adequate for an engine this size, one of these smaller engines. So this was a lot of fuel to run through. So I'm confident that this thing is broken in pretty well. And now the next thing to do is I can mount it on the airplane, and I can fly the airplane, and I'll just decrease. I'll lean it out a little bit here and there, and I won't go completely to what we call the optimum setting yet. I will keep it a little bit on the rich side, and just for a few more tanks of fuel, and then after that I can go ahead and set the optimum setting for the engine. So again, the optimum setting, since I just mentioned it, is you find your peak RPM, and you listen to that pitch, you get that peak pitch, and then once you get that peak RPM and it sort of stabilizes, what you do is you then open up the needle valve, probably like maybe 20-30 degrees or so, to make the mixture a little bit on the rich side, and that's the optimum setting. And then the other thing I wanted to point out is I tried to show it in the video of how rich the setting was. I zoomed in on the muffler here, the nozzle, and also down here you can see how much oil was being built up, and there was really a lot of smoke coming out, indicating how rich that setting was, which is really good for the break-in. A lot of oil moving through the engine. So that's it. That's the break-in for the OS 15 LA. Hope that was helpful or useful, or at least entertaining. And thanks a lot for watching the channel. We'll see you next time.